Kristen. Thank you all for joining me from wherever you are on this beautiful planet. I'm offering this from the beautiful community of Olympia, Washington. And this is a gentle yoga class. I consider this a level 1 class, but I also just want to remind you to continue to honor your body's wisdom as we move into our asana practice, offering yourself modifications and variations so your body is always most comfortable. To me, yoga is not pain, so not taking it to that place of pain and discomfort, and maybe not even taking it to that fullest, deepest part of your stretch. Let the body warm, let the fascia warm and lengthen, and then you can continue to deepen to the postures as you continue to work with your breath. This class is going to begin with some breath work and meditation, and then we'll move into our asana practice. And while you're working with the breath work and meditation, I'm going to offer some live sound healing music, and I'll also offer a nice sound healing shavasana at the end. I also just want to offer that I do offer sound healing workshops the third Sunday of every month from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So take a moment to just check in with your body and see if you would like to stay seated for your meditation and breath work, or if you would like to come onto your back. We are going to start our yoga postures on our back, but just take a moment to check in and see what would feel best to your body. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we gather today on the ancestral homelands of the Coast Salish peoples who have lived in the Salish Sea Basin throughout the San Juan Islands and the North Cascades watershed from time immemorial. Please join me in expressing our deepest respect and gratitude for our Indigenous neighbors, for their enduring care and protection of our shared lands and waterways. Thank you. So take a moment again, just check in. If you're going to stay seated for the breathwork and meditation, I offer that you maybe sit on something, a rolled up blanket or a towel or a cushion, so that your knees are a little bit lower than your hips. That just might be more comfortable for your body and for your low back. If you're coming onto your back for the breathwork and meditation, you may want to have your knees bent. Your legs can be extended to the floor. You could prop something underneath your knees so that your body is comfortable. So just take a moment and see what you need for your most comfort. Take some time to begin to make adjustments and movements in your body, wiggles, and just see where you can release so that you can relax. And if it feels good to you, maybe have some auditory release with a couple of your next exhalations. And together, let's begin to settle into the present moment, landing in here and now, as we begin to cultivate the awareness of our breath. Begin to sense the expansion of your inhalation, and notice the release of your exhalation. So nothing to do but simply be with your breath, noticing what you notice. Sometimes our belly expands with the breath. Sometimes our heart lifts with our breath. Sometimes the side ribs expand with breath. Sometimes the back of the heart is filled with breath. So a couple more rounds of breath, noticing the expansion of your inhalation, sensing where your body expands with your breath. And then let's bring our attention to the exhalation essence of our breath. So after our inhalation and that expansion of the body in the breath, then everything begins to release back towards the spine, an essence of letting go. So take a few rounds of breath to simply notice the release of the breath, the exhalation. And let's begin to then shift our attention to the space between the breath cycle. So we have the expansion of our inhalation. There's a slight pause at the end of our inhalation, and then our body goes into our exhalation, and then another slight pause at the end of our exhalation. So take time to notice the space between the breath. And thoughts may come to the mind, just let them pass. Come back to noticing the space between your breath. Softening your attention and just allow the natural cycle of the breath to flow in and out of the body, nourishing all the trillions of cells with fresh prana life force and healing energy. We're going to move into working closer with the breath into a pranayama exercise, and we're going to allow our exhalation to be 2 counts longer than our inhalation. So I'm going to start with a 3 count inhale and a 5 count exhale. If you have a clear nasal passage today, work with the breath in and out the nose. And I like to count the breath in the mind. So as you take a breath in, 1, 2, 3 with your inhalation, notice that pause, and then 1 through 5 as you take your exhalation. And if that feels too much of a stretch of getting to that 3 and 5, release that efforting essence and start with 2 and 4, and then see if you can work up to 3 and 5, and maybe you get to 4 and 6. There's not really a goal here. The goal is to notice the breath and to try to just have the breath be the main focus of the moment. So inhaling 3, exhaling 5 if you're seated. Settle back to the sits bones, cultivating that nice tall spine. If you're on your back, make adjustments or movements so that you're more comfortable and present. And we'll begin together. Inhaling 3. Exhaling 5. Inhale 3. Exhale 5. Inhale 3. Exhale 5. Continue in this way, inhaling for 3 counts, exhaling for 5 counts. We'll incorporate this breath for 2 minutes. more rounds of this breath. Inhale 3, exhale 5. Upon your next exhalation, we'll release the breath work, returning back to the natural rhythm of your own breathing. If you need to make any adjustments before we move into our meditation, do that now. And then reconnecting with the breath, settling back into this moment, we'll move into our meditation. On your inhalation, mentally affirm here and now. And on your exhalation, mentally affirm present moment. Other thoughts may come to the mind, letting them pass and coming back to the meditation. Here and now, present moment. For 2 minutes. Three more rounds of breath of the meditation. And with your next exhalation, release the meditation. Once again, returning back to the breath. Take a moment to sense any changes in the body or the mind. From here, we'll take the hands to the heart center in Anjali Mudra. Bow slightly to the hands, bowing to yourself. Take a moment to honor yourself for being here this afternoon, taking time out for self-care, health and wellness. And let's all embrace the intention of gentle acceptance as we stay curious and compassionate with our body as we transition to our asana practice. And we'll share an Om to open up our practice. Taking a deep breath in to begin, please. Inhaling. And we'll gently release. If you stayed seated for the meditation, let's extend our legs out long, shake out the knees a little bit. And if you were on your back for breathwork and meditation, stay there as we are joining you. So if you stayed seated, make your way back onto your back on your mats. We're going to take our feet hips distance, a little more than hips distance apart. If you're on a yoga mat, your feet will be out towards the side edges of the mat. Take your arms out to a T, palms will face the floor. Keep the shoulder blades connected to the floor. We're just going to keep the head forward for now and just simply begin to sway the legs side to side like windshield wipers on a car. Just starting off slow and gentle. You can inhale the legs to one side and exhale to the other. You can inhale the knees to center and then exhale as you shift to the side. So see which breath cycle and breath flow feels best to your body. I'm going to do a continuous movement here. Opening up the sacrum and the low back. Also giving a nice massage to the multifidi muscles that go all the way down to the sacrum. And now we'll begin into a twist flow. So as the legs land over to your right side, look over to your left hand. And then legs to the left as you gaze to the right hand. So continue to move in this way. Synchronize the movement with your breath. Incorporating Ujjayi breath if that feels good to you. Good, a few more times to each side. Giving a nice gentle twist to the spine. And then the next time your legs land over to your left side, let's release them to the floor for a double knee down twist. Looking towards the right hand. Try to just allow the weight of your legs to release towards gravity, offering support between the knees or underneath the knee if you need that support. Find the breath here. Good, inhale, head and knees back to center, and then exhale, legs to the right as you gaze to the left. Nice deep breaths here. One more breath. Inhale, head and knees back to center. Keep your knees bent. Align your ankles below your knees. So bring the feet to hips distance apart, and the arms will just be alongside your body. Pelvic tilts. So we're going to begin to shift the pelvis forward and back, giving another massage to those multifidi muscles. We're not, however, lifting our bodies off the floor like we do in bridge pose. So we're simply tilting forward and back. So you might notice the tiny micro movements of the skull and chin as you tilt back and forth a few more times. And so here again, we're massaging those multifidi muscles that go all the way to the very bottom of the sacrum, all the way to the coccyx. And we're also strengthening our transversus abdominal muscles here. And so those muscles are like the corset, like a pelvic girdle, and that really helps with low back stabilization. And so really making sure that you're getting some core work in at least 2 to 3 times a week, if not every day. Okay, one more in each direction here. And then just take your pelvis back to neutral, comfortable position. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, we'll take the right knee towards the right shoulder, coming into Apanasana pose. So you can interlace your fingers, hands, strap, belt, scarf on top of your knee, underneath the knee along the hamstrings. So I like to align the knee with the shoulder to help out that hip flexor a little bit. See what feels good to your body. You might like a little tuck of the chin to the chest to help lengthen out your cervical spine towards the earth. And then take a notice on your left leg. Do you want to keep that left knee bent, or do you want to extend that leg to the floor? If you're going to work with the leg extension, I suggest you flex that left foot. So we're rooting that left side to the floor and really anchoring there. Try to allow the sacrum to dissolve into the floor. Relax the muscles in your face. Just begin to allow the weight of your body to sink under the support of the floor and the earth. Sending breath into the hip. All right, ankle circles with that right foot, starting in a clockwise position. And reverse, opposite direction. Good. And release. Take another deep breath in. With your exhalation, let that right knee fall out further to the right side, coming into an abductor stretch. So you'll feel a stretch on that right inner thigh. We're not taking it to that place of pain or to that place where the left side of the body begins to lift off the floor. Keep your left shoulder blade, your left buttock, and your left heel or foot connected to the floor. Good, one more breath here. And now we're gonna work with a little flow. So that our knee is out to the side. We're gonna inhale the knee back towards the chest or towards the shoulder into Apanasana. Exhale as you extend that leg up towards the ceiling, interlacing behind the thigh. Keep a bend in the knee. Inhale, take that knee back to Apanasana. And then exhale, allow that right knee to fall out to the right side. You can take your left hand to your left hip. That's the flow. Here we go. Inhale back to Apanasana. Exhale, extend the leg up towards the ceiling. Inhale, bend the knee back towards your right shoulder. Exhale, right knee releases out to the right side. A few more times. Inhale the knee back towards center. Exhale, extend the leg up towards the ceiling. Inhale, take that knee back towards the chest or the shoulder. Exhale, release that knee out to the side. One more flow. Inhale, Apanasana. Exhale, leg extension. Inhale, Apanasana. Exhale, adductor stretch. And now we'll inhale back to Apanasana and we'll exhale as we extend that leg to hold. So you can interlace behind the thigh, behind the calf. You could have a strap and taking that across the center or the ball of your foot, or a belt, or a scarf, or a towel. So see what feels good to your body here for this hamstring stretch. You could use a strap or support of some kind of prop or not. I like to align the joint structures on top of each other. So I try to take my ankle and my knee over my hip, and that is like I kind of release the leg a little bit away from the body so that those joint structures are aligned on top of each other. See with your arm placement, if you're using some kind of prop, do you want your arms extended away from your body, or do you want to relax your arms on the floor? So check out that variation. Same thing with your left leg. That left knee can stay bent. If you tend towards any low back discomfort, I suggest to keep that left knee bent. Otherwise, extend your left leg to the floor with a flexed foot. The last alignment piece, you have your right leg is extended up towards the ceiling, so that could be potentially creating a little misalignment with your pelvis. So just with your intention, take that right side of your pelvis back towards the floor, anchoring the sacrum into the earth. Deep, sweet breaths here. Begin to notice the lengthening behind the leg. Good, one more breath here. I'm going to do a little bit of an abdominal variation, so stay here if you want, stay longer with your hamstring stretch, otherwise you can just release the strap from the foot. Otherwise, if you want to join me for that abdominal strengthening, take both parts of the strap into your right hand, or just interlace behind your right thigh. And with your next exhalation, we're going to lift the shoulders and head off the floor as we reach the left fingers towards the left toes. And I do have a strap, so I'm kind of pulling my right leg towards my body as I reach my left fingertips towards my left toes. 2 more breaths. You can lift the leg, that left leg off the floor. Good. Exhale, release the head back to the floor. Take the strap or prop off that foot, point those toes, and exhale, lower that leg to the floor. Good. Take the feet wider than the hips, rock the legs a little bit side to side a few times. Good, and then we'll take all of that over to our other side. So release your strap or prop to the side for now. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, we'll take the left knee towards the left shoulder. Apanasana to the other side. So again, aligning knee with the shoulder. And then see what feels good for your right leg. Keeping that right knee bent, or do you want to extend that leg to the floor with a flexed foot? See what feels good. I'm just going to shift my direction here just for visual purposes. All right. See if you'd like a little tuck of the chin to the chest, and just as you settle here in your posture, just begin to allow the weight of your body to release to the floor. If you're kind of holding or efforting to hold, see where you can soften and let go a little bit. And then let's begin ankle circles on that left side, counterclockwise. Reverse directions. Good, let's release the ankle circles. Take another deep breath in. With your exhalation, let the left knee fall out to the left side. So I kind of use my left hand and my left elbow to prop that knee out to the side. Some students can bring that knee and that leg all the way to the floor. You could prop on a block or some kind of support. You could wrap a strap around that knee. So just see, we're looking for a stretch in the inner thigh. When you feel that stretch, then just hanging there with your breath. I'm still rooting and anchoring my right side. I've got a flexion on the right foot. My right buttock and shoulder blade are rooted to the floor. Okay, and then let's begin our flow. We'll inhale, take that knee back to Apanasana, and then exhale, extend your left leg up towards the ceiling. Inhale, take that knee back towards the chest or the shoulder, and then exhale, release that knee out to the side. So there's our flow. We'll keep going here. Inhale, back towards Apanasana. Exhale, extend the leg. Inhale, take the knee back towards the chest. And exhale, release into Apanasana. So I think you've got it. Continue to flow with your own breath a few more times. I like to incorporate flow to increase that flexibility. One more flow. Good, and then take the knee back to Apanasana. If you're going to use any kind of proper support for your hamstring stretch on your left side, grab that now. And then move into that left stretch, that left hamstring stretch. Aligning your ankle and your knee over your hip as best as you can. Anchoring that left side of your sacrum back towards the earth. Notice that lengthening in the back of legs. Still keep a nice little flexion in both knees really, but truly that extended knee towards the ceiling. Good, find your breath. All right, stay here longer. Otherwise, if you want to try that abdominal strengthening on the other side, take the strap further up take your hand further up the strap closer to the foot. Right palm facing down in the right thigh. With your next inhale, we'll lift up the shoulder and the head, reaching our right fingertips towards the right foot. And I'm kind of bringing my left leg towards my body. One final stretch or final variation is lifting your right leg off the floor. 2 more breaths, whichever variation you're in. Good. Release the head back to the floor. Point the left toes and lower that leg to the floor. Release your prop to the side. And just have the arms alongside your body, just taking a couple integrating breaths here. Really let the body sink into the floor, noticing what you notice. All right, feet will come to the side edges of the mat or wider than your hips. Arms extend out to a T. Let's do a little spinal flow twist. Good, one more to each side. Bring the knees, head back to center. And here we'll move into the abdominal cortex. So we're going to incorporate 4 movements for some abdominal strengthening. We'll do a little bridge flow for a counter stretch, and then we'll transition up to seated. So start by interlacing the hands behind the head. So 4 movements. Work with all 4 or delete what doesn't work and just keep what does. Exhale as you lift your head up towards the ceiling, trying to keep your elbows in alignment with the head. Inhale, bring the head back to the floor. Exhale, take your elbows towards the knees, coming into a tuck position. They don't need to touch. We're just intending in this direction. And then inhale back to the floor. Exhale, right elbow comes towards the left knee at the cross center midline. Inhale back to the floor, and then left elbow towards the right knee and back to center. So those are our 4 movements. Continue to work with these at your own pace. I like to exhale as I bring limbs together. Other students prefer the opposite breath cycle, so just incorporating your breath with each movement. We're building core strength here, so helping out low back stabilization. We're also offering some interhemispheric integration on the left and right brain, so some yoga for the brain. Rest if you need to, otherwise let's do 2 more quartets. last one. All right, strong bodies. Take the knees into the chest, hug the arms around the shins, and take some nice deep breaths into the belly. You could rock the head or turn the head side to side if you'd like to release a little bit in your neck. Breathing into the belly. All right, take your head back to center. And then release your knees back, your feet back to the floor. Knees are still bent, feet are hips distance apart, so your ankles are below the knees. We're going to do a bridge flow to counter stretch the core muscles. Once we begin to move into the bridge flow, try not to turn your head to either side, just protecting in your cervical spine. So I'm going to show with and without an arm variation. We'll start by pressing both feet and all 10 toes into the earth. We want to engage in our glutes and our core and our legs. And we want to keep that engagement as we lift up in bridge and as we return to the floor. So keeping your lower body, your whole trunk engaged the whole time. So here's without the arm variation. I'm going to press the arms into the floor, press my feet into the floor, inhaling as you lift up into bridge, and exhale as you come down. So I've still got all of this engaged. Okay, so there's the bridge flow without the arm variation. And now we'll be incorporating the arm variation. So here you'll lift the arms overhead, and then exhale, release back to the floor. Okay, so begin your bridge variation. If coming up to your shoulders feels like too much, you could work with half bridge. I'm just lifting my sacrum off the floor. Here's about my mid back, and then here's further. So just see what feels good to your body. See where you're at today in this moment. That might be different than 2 hours from now. So always just honoring with each moment. And I'm not going all the way over my head with my arms because the singing bowls are there. All right, one more flow. Good. When you come back to the floor, take the knees into the chest. This time we'll rock elbow to elbow. Give the back a nice little massage. And then rock to one side and find your way up to seated. All right. So seated, comfortable seated position, Sukhasana easy sit pose is always an option. Some folks aren't comfortable here, however, for whatever reason, knees or hips. So you could extend one or both legs out. This could be your Sukhasana. So see what feels good to your body. Take your palms facing down on your knees. Cultivate that nice tall spine by reaching through the crown of the head. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, tuck the chin towards the chest as you arch back to cat back, moving to a cat-cow flow. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, heart comes forward, gaze to the ceiling and cow spine. Exhale back to cat back, and inhale to cow spine. Continue in this way, moving with your breath. Cultivate that pace and rhythm that feels good to your body. I'm moving a little bit faster. Slow it down if you need to. Good, 2 more. And back to center. Side bend flow, take the right hand to the floor. We'll inhale and exhale, that left arm overhead, hinging to the side, keeping both sits bones rooted to the earth. Inhale, return to center. Exhale over to the other side. Continue in this way, side bend flow. And next time you come to your right side, let's hang there together for several breaths. Top palm can face the floor. Let that top shoulder soften down the back as best as you can. And like I said before, keep your sits bones rooted to the mat. I'm not lifting my buttocks off the floor to get a deeper stretch here, but you will feel that nice side bend stretch here. Inhale, return to center, and exhale over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, walk the hands out for a simple seated forward fold. Here we'll let the body take shape of the pose, so let the shoulders round, let the head hang. You could rest the forehead on two fists that are stacking on each other or on a block. Again, we do want to keep the sit bones connected to the floor. So begin to relax and release in your hips and your glutes as best as you can. Three more deep, sweet breaths. Good. Walk the hands back towards the body and then take the hands behind you, fingertips pointing towards your body. Release your feet out wider than your hips and we'll just sway the legs side to side. One more in each direction. Good. Come back to a comfortable seated position. Shoulder and neck work. You can just have your palms on the knees or in your lap, whatever is comfortable. Take a deep breath in as you find that nice tall spine. With your exhalation, tilting left ear to left shoulder. Inhale gently back to center. Exhale over to the right side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right to hold. So we're tilting the ear towards the shoulder rather than lifting your shoulder to meet the ear. Still sitting back on your sits bones with a nice tall spine so the core muscles are engaged. We want to keep those core muscles engaged for a foundation for the body, a strong foundation. Relax your jaw, soften the space between the eyebrows, and if you'd like to increase in that stretch, you can extend your right arm out to the side, fingertips near the floor. Hand comes back to the knee. Inhale the head gently back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. And if you'd like to increase in that stretch, extending your left arm out to the side. Hand comes back to the knee. Inhale the head gently back to center. Exhale, take the chin towards the chest. And then inhales, you roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. Exhale, sweep the chin towards the chest, over to the other side. Continue in this way a few more times in each direction. Last one. Good. Take the head back to center. Close your eyes if that's okay. We're going to take 3 integrating breaths here, inviting breath all the way up into the shoulders and the neck. Big breath in. Another deep breath. One more nice deep breath. Good. Extend your legs out, shake out your knees a little bit. We're going to do a little bit more hamstring stretches and some twists. So we're going to take our right foot into half lotus over that left thigh. So just hang here for a couple breaths. Now this knee might be in the air, your right knee might be in the air, your right knee might be to the floor. Mine is in the air. I'm going to flex my left foot, and we're just going to hold this for just a couple breaths. Good, and then let's switch sides. So release that right leg back, extending out from your body, and then take your left foot over the right thigh for half lotus to the other side. And now I've got a flexion in my right foot. Still sitting on the sits bones with a nice tall spine. I'm not collapsing in the chest or the shoulders. One more breath here. And then release, extend that leg out in front, shake out the knees a little bit. And now we're gonna take the right foot into hero. So you're gonna tuck that foot underneath you're gonna bend that knee basically. And so my right buttock is on my right heel, kind of in between my right heel. I'll do a little side view here. All right, so again, I still have that nice tall spine reaching through the crown of the head. I'm not having that forward shoulder posture. Belly button is towards the spine, so I'm engaging my core, and I've got a flexion in my left foot. 2 more breaths. Release your right leg out from hero, shake out the knees a little bit, and then bend that left knee and take hero to the left side. And now bring a flexion to your right foot, and still sitting on the sits bones, cultivating a nice tall spine. One more breath. Good, release that leg, shake out the knees again. And now we're going to take the right sole of the foot into the left inner thigh. And we're going to work with a fold and a twist. So take the hands alongside your hips. We'll inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, reaching through the crown, hinging at the hips, coming towards that left leg. So your hands can come to your thigh, your knee, or your calf. Here we're going to invite the back to stay nice and tall and lengthening rather than rounding the body and the shoulders towards the leg. Let's keep a flatter back. And so keep your wings on your back body. Keep pressing shoulder blades to the back body as you invite your belly towards the thigh. And now you might need a little support underneath that right knee. If this knee is higher in the air or just uncomfortable in any reason, prop something underneath that knee, but continue to encourage that knee towards the earth, whether it's propped or not. We still want to encourage that because we do want to engage that adductor. All right, 2 more lengthening breaths. And then we'll take it towards our twist. So inhale, take the hands towards the front foot, back overhead. Exhale, left hand comes to your right knee, right hand behind you. We're twisting towards your bent knee. So still on the sits bones. I still have a flexion of my foot on that extended leg. Deep, sweet breaths here. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, float the arms down. And now we're going to take that right foot to the floor. So the knee is still bent, but my foot is on the floor. Left leg is still extended. And now we're going to do a counter stretch here. So we're going to take, I'll just mirror this here. We're going to take that right elbow in the inner part of the right knee, and I'm pressing the knee and the elbow in towards each other. Left arm is extended in front. Left foot is flexed with that leg extended. And then release that left arm back behind you. And so we're going to twist in the other direction. I'm looking over my left shoulder as I press the right elbow and the right knee in towards each other. Deep, sweet breaths. Good. Exhale back to center. Shake out the legs. Extend both legs out. And then we'll take that all over to our other side. So left sole of the foot comes into the right inner thigh. Take a flexion to your right foot. Hands will come alongside the hips. Find that nice tall spine. And then inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, reaching to the crown, hinging at the hips, coming to your right side. Okay, so finding any support. If you want to use a strap across the foot, you can. Encouraging that left knee towards the earth. Finding props or support if you need it for that leg. Keeping more of a flat back, so inviting your shoulder blades to stay behind you. And you can look down towards your right knee to keep neck in alignment with the spine. Find your breath. Good, we'll transition towards our twist, towards the bent knee. So inhale, take the hands towards the front foot, back overhead. Exhale, right hand comes to the left knee, left hand behind you. Twist to the other side. I still have a flexion in my right foot, and I'm still on both sits bones. Invite your shoulders to relax down the back body. Find your breath. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, float the arms down. And now we'll take that twist to the other side. So left foot comes to the floor, left elbow comes to the inner part of the left leg. Right arm extends in front with that right leg extension, and then take that right arm behind you, twisting towards the other side as you continue to press the limbs in towards each other. And I'm still on both sits bones here, not lifting either sits bone. One more breath. Good. Exhale back to center. Release both legs, extend the legs out, shake out the knees a little bit. Good, and we'll transition towards hands and knees. If you need any support underneath your knees, grabbing some kind of cushion for yourself. Let's have the wrists under the shoulders and the knees under the hips, so you've got space between the hands as well as the knees. And then lift your belly button to the spine so the core is engaged, and try to square your pelvis to the floor. Okay, so table pose might not look like much, but if everything's engaged and you're focusing and your attention is in the present moment, there is engagement, there is action happening. All right, we're gonna move into a cat-cow flow. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, we're gonna arch up to cat back, lifting belly button to the spine and press the back of the heart up to the sky. Inhale into cow, let the belly soften as you tilt the sits bones and the eyes up to the ceiling. Good, exhale up into cat back, and inhale into cow. Continue in this way, cat-cow flow. Move with your breath. Find that pace under the mat feels good to your body. Two more with the breath. Last one. Good, come back to neutral spine. We're going to come into half dog, so walk the hands towards the front of the mat or just away from your body. Keeping your arms extended from you, take the forehead to the floor. If that's too far of a reach, you could just come down to the elbows and the head can hang lower than the pelvis. And then just like we do in down dog, we want to lift and tilt the sits bones up towards the ceiling. So we're lengthening in the spine here, just like the same effect when we're in downward facing dog. Two more breaths here. Lift the sits bones. And then walk the hands underneath your shoulders. Help yourselves back up. We're going to do a wrist stretch. So either sitting back on your heels or up on your knees. Fingertips come together. Rotate the wrist around in circles. Reverse directions, opposite way. Sunshine. All right, we're going to do sunbird for our balancing pose today. Ardha Chandrasana. I'm going to do sunbird and then we're going to go into Ardha Chandrasana. So I just want to show the different variations. So sunbird, we extend our right leg back behind us as the left arm comes in front. So this could be your balancing. Let's give actually an option today. So this could be your balancing. We square the hips to the floor, lift the belly button to the spine. Okay, so that could be your balancing pose today. This is on the other side. So whatever you're doing, we're going to make sure we're doing it on both sides. And then Ardha Chandrasana is just a little bit different. You'll extend your right leg back behind you. I kind of move my hand underneath my face so I can begin to stack the hips on top of each other. You could also use a block here. If you had a block, you could use a block. Shift me a little bit, excuse me. I fell in January, so I still am working with some knee injuries. All right, so I start in table. Extend the right leg back, begin to stack that right hip on top of the left. So that's when I kind of shift my hand underneath the face. And the hand could go to the block, the hand could come to the hip, the hand could extend to the ceiling. Okay, you could still have your toes on the floor with your hand on the hip. You could have the hand on the block with the leg up. So there's all kinds of variations for this Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so see which one is here for you today. I'm going to do the other side, so extend your left leg back behind you. Try to stack that left hip on top of the right. You might move your hand down over towards the center midline. Hand can come to the hip, arm can extend to the ceiling. I kind of tuck the tail a little bit. We want to keep those core muscles engaged for strength. Okay. And then when you're finished with both sides, we'll come down into child's pose. So I did both sides. I'm not going to go through that second side again. So when you're complete there, then take your knees wide on the mat or on the floor and come to a widened knees, Balasana, child's pose. And just resting for a few breaths. Mentally affirm, my body is healthy and strong. Two more nice deep breaths. Good. Begin to walk the hands back towards your body. Take the knees back towards each other. One more wrist stretch. This time we'll interlace our fingers, making figure eights with hands and wrists. And reverse directions, opposite way. All right, we're going to come back onto our backs on our mats. Alrighty, so once you find your way back onto the floor, take your feet wider than the hips. Arms will once again come out to a T, palms to the floor. We're going to sway the legs side to side. Windshield wipers on a car. Gratefully not using them today. You can do that twist flow if that feels good to you, or just simply rock the legs side to side. One more to each side. Good, come back to center, bring your feet to hips distance apart. We're going to do keyhole pose to each side, so start with your right ankle bone, bringing that to your left thigh bone. And so that might be a stretch for you already in that right hip. If so, stay here, or begin to take that knee towards the chest, or thread the hands through to the top of the knee or underneath the knee. So just find that variation. Make sure your shoulder and your head is on the floor. I've seen some students, so they want to get the hand up on the knee and the shoulders are off and the head is off, and they're really stressing to get to that variation. And so I say back out a little bit. You don't need to get to the top of the knee. You could be along the hamstring there. We're seeking a stretch in that right piriformis and the right gluteal. So when you feel a stretch there, then hanging there with your breath. And if you ever want to increase the stretch, you can flex both feet. And let's do that for 2 more breaths. And exhale, let's release. Both feet come to the floor, ankles together, knees together. Just rock the legs out a little bit. Good, come back to center. Return the feet to hips distance apart, and now left ankle bone to the right thigh bone. See if that's already a stretch for you. If not, lift that knee up. And just see which variation feels good on this side. We are balanced in different ways in every part of our body, so just make sure you're comfortable and you're not taking it to that place of pain, and you're not challenging yourself too much. Let's back out a little bit. Gentle yoga. All right, breathing into that left hip as you relax and release. And then if you want to increase that stretch a little bit, flexing both feet for the last 2 breaths. Good, gently release. Take the knees to the chest. We're going to make circles with the knees, moving them in the same direction. You can have 0 to 2 hands on your knees and just rotating legs around. And reverse directions. All right, friends, time to transition into sound healing Shavasana. So adding any socks or clothes if you could be more comfortable. Your knees could stay bent. Your legs can be extended to the floor. You could be in constructive rest pose where your feet are wider than the hips and the knees come to the center to touch and support each other. Recline butterfly or cobbler. So see which position feels best to your body and transition there now. Shavasana is an opportunity to allow us to integrate our practice into the body, mind, and spirit. With each breath, allowing that integration as you invite your whole self to come into a peaceful state of relaxation. Slowly bring your attention back to your breath. Begin to deepen and lengthen in the breath. Inviting gentle movements to the body, offering wiggles, circling wrists and ankles, movements, stretching arms overhead, yawning, releasing. Whatever feels good to your body, and then roll to your right side using your lower arm to support your head. 2 more breaths there. And then using the strength of hands, elbows, and arms, gently lifting yourselves up to a comfortable seated position. Take your time. We're going to close our practice with 1 Om, placing palms wherever is comfortable. Let's take a deep breath in to begin, please. Inhaling. Bringing the hands to the heart center in Anjali Mudra. We'll end by praying for peace with 1 Om, 3 Shantis and 3 pieces. Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May we carry it into our worlds. Namaste. you all for joining me this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to spending time with you next time. Blessings.